Hi, this is author Dan McCrory. I'm going to start reading from my novel called You Will Forever Be My Always. Charlie hadn't visited his agent at his office for a long time. The phone was much faster and cheaper than the price of gas and parking. The subway was full of the unwashed masses. The third store cubbyhole seemed more littered with galleys and correspondence than he'd ever seen it. Harvey was a scrawny bald man itching his way through his 70s, 80s. He still maintained appearances, showing up for work each day in a suit and tie, ready to conduct business. His voice was raspy from decades of Pall Malls and a love of Cuban cigars. He studied Charlie for a moment behind dirty bifocals. Long time no hear. I've been traveling, trying to clear my head. Did it work? You tell me. Ready to write that book? Tell me a story. A guy's dying. Harvey gave him a raspberry. It's been done. Next. Wait, you didn't even give me a chance to expound. The public's not buying tearjerkers right now. So no sappy dialogue, sentimental scenes, that kind of crap. Right. Without those ingredients, it's not a tearjerker. It's the opposite. Nobody's laughing if that's what you mean. Is there sex? Asked Harvey, ticking off invisible boxes. Oh, yeah. Blood? Does it sell? Oh, yeah. Okay, it's in there, but just a little because it makes me queasy. What's your hook? It's me, said Charlie. First person then? That could work. No, it's me, dying. He looked Charlie in the eye for a moment. Really? Really. And what are you doing here? Go enjoy your life, what's left of it. I really wanted to leave something behind to say Charlie Wise was here. Spray paint your name on the Statue of Liberty. I wanted to leave something for the ages, a real legacy like Tom Sawyer or The Great Gatsby. Do you realize the chances of your book getting published, being recognized and praised by the critics, and lasting on the library shelf for 100 years is slim to none? I'm dead serious. I want to do this. Dead serious. Great title. Here's the book you're going to write. I'm dying, and this is what I'm going to do to leave my mark. Put sex in it like we agreed. Are we talking the great American novel or something hot and torrid? For a minute there, I thought you were going to suggest my story. Look, do you want to write a gut-wrenching saga with a downer ending with your protagonist alone on the beach as he walks into the ocean, never to be seen again, or an entertaining romp that will sell thousands of books and be forgotten in a month? What am I going to do with all that money? I'll be dead. You're right, Charlie. Don't think about Margot or me and my kids. Be selfish. Write the book you're meant to write. Spill your soul on the page. How old are your kids, Harvey? 40, 50? I think they'll get by. I know you're pissed, but I have to do this. Now I understand. He pulled a book from the tall bookcase behind him and handed it to Charlie. How to write a novel in 30 days. You're going to need it. Go, check in once in a while so I know you're not dead yet. That's from my novel, You Will Forever Be My Always, which was an award winner at the LA Book Festival this year. The paperback copies $12, and the hardcover is $18. Next, I'll be reading from my other book, my nonfiction book, Capitalism Killed the Middle Class, 25 Ways the System is Rigged Against You. I also have some other works in progress that I'll be reading from. This is from a chapter called Capitalism Does Not Equal Democracy and the Occupy Movement. The Occupy movement surprised a lot of people, though some of us not so much. Ever since I grew aware of the world around me, this imbalance between the haves and the have-nots and its impact on the American way of life, I've wondered how long it would take for the American public to wake up and take notice. Sometimes I wondered if it would ever happen. This is it, I thought, when the maquiladoras were proposed and then built across the border, laying the groundwork for NAFTA. Many of our jobs headed to the other side of the Rio Grande. There were a few conferences to examine the effects, especially from organized labor. But it seemed at the time that unions were afraid to raise too much of a fuss under Ronald Reagan because we weren't sure how far he'd go to bend us in his attempt to break us. This is it, I thought, when Bill Clinton was elected. Suddenly the Dems had the reins of power and we were all thinking about tomorrow. We should have dreaded tomorrow because the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, was introduced by our friends in the Clinton administration. Big business was getting its way now with both parties. In fact, a proposed Labor Party arose for a short time. Business has two parties, they said. How about one for us? But it was a case of too little, too late. Before labor in the private sector had dwindled, labor might have been able to mount a strong third party, but money had pervaded the system so fully, unions couldn't amass the fortunes large enough to enter the ring with the big boys. This is it, I thought, when I was elected as the union local president in 2002. I was going to educate and engage my members in the political process and get them involved, make a difference, blah, blah, blah. With 40% of my members staunch Republicans, I was a little afraid I'd inadvertently unleash the other side of the aisle. It didn't help that there were skunks in the woodpile among my executive board gunning for my job. In budget considerations, dealing with the company in downsize mode, my political agenda was reduced to woulda, shoulda, coulda. This is it, I cried to the skies when Barack Obama, a seemingly progressive candidate, was elected in 2008. He brought up a lot of issues that Dems could get behind. He talked about the inequalities inherent in the political system. He promised to close Gitmo, end the wars, and bring about a wave of prosperity. But when our whole economic system seemed on the cusp of collapse, he brought the foxes into the henhouse, a whole handful of former stock brokers and bankers who could save the day. We know the rest. Lehman Brothers was allowed to go under, but AIG was deemed too big to fail. A couple of the big three automakers, Chrysler and GM, teetered until the government bailed them out with low interest loans. Those actions probably saved 1 million auto worker jobs and 1 million more that relied on the auto industry. I know this is it. Senator Bernie Sanders, the Democratic Socialist from Vermont, was again promising hope and change, inspiring millions across the country. Hillary Clinton, until a few months prior to the election, Obama's shoo-in successor, talked about incremental change, while Bernie boldly called for a political revolution. Those of us who were looking for a reincarnation of FDR, we held our breath and hoped through Bill Clinton, Al Gore, and Barack Obama. We're still hoping. That's from my book, Capitalism Killed the Middle Class, 25 Ways the System is Rigged Against You. Check it. It's off.
You can't really hear you through the holster. I turned it up all the way.
Thanks. Chris Anderson was going to be here, but a couple of people said they were going to be here that aren't here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. How's lunch?
We haven't gone.
Oh,
I
may
told you
pause.
I was picking her up at 12:30.
Okay, I'm going to pause this for a little while, and I'll be back soon. Go get a drink of water or something, or get me a beer, will you?
So nobody's been here. But you just started, right?
Mm-hmm.
At 1?
Yeah. So I read a little bit from this, a little bit from this. I'm going to read some future stuff.
Great. It smells like paper in here.
It's kind of a cool place. I did this. I did here before. There were chairs all lined up here, Virginia. You weren't here, were you?
I was.
I know you were. Sorry, Virginia. Tomorrow I'll be in Northridge.
Oh, Northridge, I thought you were in Simi tomorrow.
I'll see me next week, next Sunday, and then 2 weeks after that, Woodland Hills.
There is one in Woodland Hills.
It's on Topanga.
Hey, Aaron, what?
I figured you're gonna ask me that. I don't know.
Hey Siri, what is the address of the open book in Woodland Hills?
It's new.
Here's the address. Okay, 6130 6316.
Go ahead and make a mention of that.
So it's on this side.
Today I'm in Santa Clarita at the open book, and tomorrow I'll be at the open book in Northridge, 7257 Temple Boulevard, I do believe. And of course, I didn't have this on. Today I'm here at the open book until 4 p.m. And tomorrow I'll be at the open book in Northridge if you want to come by there. And then on the 14th, I believe it is, yeah, the 14th, I'll be at the open book in Simi Valley. And then on the 28th, I'll be at the open book in Woodland Hills. Hope you can drop by and say hello. It's got a delay on it.
It's working now. Are you tapping on it? It did something.
Yeah, it's got dirt in it. That's for the connections. I think I didn't read the dick pic one.
What?
Hang on. So I'm glad I didn't read the section talked about dick pics.
Yeah.
There's kids in there.
Well, there were kids in here. Last
Were there? Oh,
yeah.
No,
I
it
told
wasn't.
you you had to.
find a different selection. And I did. I found one. There's only one F word in there, and I skipped over it.
Say freaking.
Yeah, or flipping or fracking.
Flipping, that's a good one.
Yeah. What time is it?
Oh, so every Sunday they have.
Oh,
What?
obviously those dates.
Oh, they're cool, huh? It's a pretty busy little store.
Except over in this area.
I was talking to Sunny this morning. I would never think of going to a used bookstore.
Because these aren't used books. And yeah. And so they're probably gonna, I'd rather pay $5 for this book than 10 for this.
You want me to find you a chapter to read out of your report? You look forever in my always.
I read one, but go ahead. Use this one, because I don't want to crack that. It's fine on the new ones. I would like to thank the Open Book Bookstore for helping young, maybe not so young, struggling writers, independent writers who aren't published by the big five, as they're called. And those of us who are out here are trying to make a living with our writing really appreciate any kind of efforts from the public who buy our books or put a review on Amazon or Barnes and Noble and come out to these events like this and say hello and maybe buy a book and or just learn a little bit about that particular writer's stories and anything that you can do to support independent writers is very much appreciated. Thank you. Next time I'll have to write my children's book. Raspberry Girl. Hasn't been an hour yet, so it's only been 15 minutes. Seems like forever. What's going on with you, Virginia?
Not much. Hanging out. Trying to stay busy.
Oh, I don't have any trouble. I'm too busy. That's Terry. If I read from one to the other one, I want to run out of material too quickly.
What chapter did you already read?
It was about him seeing Harvey in his office. Oh, I had marked it with a piece of paper, but it may have come out.